What are the typical questions that you can expect during an interview for a grant writing position? Well, in this video, we're going to dive into that and more. And hi there, my name is Josh, and I have over 10 years of experience in technical writing. I'm also the founder of Technical Writer HQ. And this video will help you prepare for an ace your job interview. But before we dive into it, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. And that way, you won't miss any of our future videos. Now let's go ahead and get started. So grant proposal is part of the application process for securing financial grants from federal government or other grant awarding institutions. As a grant writer, you create grant proposals, also known as grant applications, and play a key role in securing financial grants for organizations that need funding. And interviews are a critical part of the hiring process. Even though the educational background and experience listed on your resume are important, interviews allow hiring managers to meet and really get to know you. And during interviews, hiring managers are interested in learning three things about you: your personal background, personality, and character as a professional, your experience in the field of grant writing, and the value you would bring to an organization as a grant writer. The most common grant writer interview questions all help recruiters unearth insights into these three categories. Before we jump into the actual interview questions, let's first review some important things about the interview process to help you get into the right mindset. So you want to get the basics right. Prepare your resume and portfolio and read the job description carefully. Make sure that you overall have an idea of what the company does, good understanding of different types of contexts, and you're dressed up for success. Now, you may not be able to answer all the questions in the best way, but make sure you don't get any of the basics wrong, because the no amount of interview skills can help you land the job. You also want to treat it as a learning experience. So don't get stressed out, and make sure that you can see where your weaknesses are and you can improve. And even if you don't get the job, you'll ultimately learn many other things that will help you in your other interviews and maybe in your career. And you also learn things that will come in handy if you yourself have to conduct interviews one day. Now, is the job right for you? Well, just as the interviewers are trying to figure out if you are the person they need, interview is also an opportunity for you to learn about the company, its people, culture, and the many factors that make up an organization. At times, we can get too focused on one thing and miss the big picture. For example, if a job advertisement mentions a particular high salary, then it's possible to get totally focused on that one aspect, and you might ignore all the other important factors. So use the opportunity to learn about the company so that you can make an informed decision. And in this video, I went ahead and compiled a list of the most important grant writer interview questions and answers. Now, the actual questions you get asked will vary from interview to interview. Think of this video as a resource that will help you as you prepare for landing your dream grant writing job. And I went ahead and divided interview questions into the following categories. We have general questions and grant writing process questions. And most interviews start with the general questions. So the purpose of these questions is for the interviewer to learn more about you and why you applied for the grant writing position. And number one is, tell us about your experience with writing grants. This is an open-ended question designed to get to know you better. Treat this question as an opportunity to market yourself and increase your credibility. One important thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to restrict yourself to grant writing. If you are a professional grant writer with a lot of experience, then you can share relevant details about your previous experiences. You can share details about the organizations and industry sectors you have worked for, the types of funding organizations you have dealt with, your successes and challenges faced, and how you overcame them. And it's likely that skills and other forms of writing will be valuable for the hiring organization. So if you have previous experience in technical writing or copywriting, for example, well, then you can share that as well. And make sure to focus on impact. If you explain your skills without tying it to what was impacted and the people involved, the stakeholders, well, then you're not going to really move the needle with any person interviewing you. And since this is an open-ended question that does not deal with a specified aspect of grant writing, it does give you a lot of flexibility in how you choose to answer it. But again, make sure that you use it to take advantage to build credibility by showing impact in who you worked with. And the second question is, how do you handle deadlines for multiple projects? As a grant writer, you'll most likely be working on multiple projects at the same time. And you'll be involved in multiple activities: writing grants, attending meetings, giving presentations, meeting representatives of funding organizations, and you'll have to do many other things sometimes all at the same time. And even if you're not an experienced grant writer, knowing how to manage multiple things at the same time is just part of life. And through this question, the hiring manager wants to know your process for prioritizing, organizing, and maintaining an efficient workflow. If you're an experienced grant writer, then you will have developed systems that allow you to work on and manage multiple projects. You can share relevant details of your system, such as how you prioritize projects, manage time, and preferred project management tools that you like to work in to really get projects over the line. And you can share your reasons for using these tools and also how you use them for maximizing efficiency and keeping a couple examples handy with you of how you used them in the past. And if you're applying for an entry-level position and lack experience, well, then you can share the systems you used while managing multiple priorities during your academic career. And now we move on to a list of interview questions specifically related to the grant writing process. And number one is, what is your grant writing process? Now, professionals develop systems or processes for everything that they do, specifically high-level writers, such as great grant writers. And processes help to break down large tasks into smaller and more manageable entities. Experienced grant writers should not have any trouble answering this question. However, if you lack experience, then at least knowing about a typical grant writing process will demonstrate that you have prepared for the interview. A demonstration of proper preparation builds credibility like nothing else. And the basic grant writing process is research. This is the most important part of the grant writing process. Grant writers have to conduct research about grant prospects and interview key stakeholders and project team members. We have a plan. After you've done all the necessary research, it's time to make a plan for the grant proposal. You'll need to carefully follow the exact instructions about proposals from the grant awarding institution to which you are applying. They may have very specific rules, and if you miss one and you don't follow it, well, then your proposal may simply get rejected outright. And based on these instructions, you'll create your plan or outline 2 for the grant proposal. You'll write, format, and submit it. And once the plan is ready, it's time to write the grant proposal. So having a detailed plan in place makes the writing process a lot easier, as you know exactly what you have to write and in what different areas and how the parts of the proposal simply fit together. Now, after writing and reviewing, it's time to get the proposal approved. And after you've made the changes, if there are some that are required, well, it's time to submit the proposal to the grant awarding institution. And then you want to follow up. You may not always want to follow up immediately. It really depends on the institution you're applying to. So after making the submission, you have to follow up at least at some point if you don't hear back from the grant awarding institution and answer any questions and queries they may have. And then we have number 2 question here, which is, how do you describe your review process? So once the proposal is ready, it must be reviewed to make sure that there are no errors and all important elements are in place. And a good review process is comprised of, well, a checklist of curated items that need review and rechecking. And some of these items may be as simple as passive voice. Make sure there's not a lot of passive voice within your writing. And furthermore, proofreading the entire proposal a few times is also important. You can share your review process and how you ensure that the proposal preparation and review processes are completed well before the submission deadline. And the third question here is, what is your process for improving grant writing skills? So improving your grant writing skills. And many avenues are available for learning and skill improvement, including certifications like on Technical Writer HQ, online and in-person courses, industry publications, and guidance from peers and mentors. Now, this is an important question. You can use it to your advantage by sharing how you have improved your skills over the years, and you can also share your plan for improving skills in the future. And there we have it, the typical questions that you can expect during an interview for a grant writing position. And thank you for watching the video and sticking with me all the way to the end of it. And again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of Technical Writer HQ. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to go ahead and like it and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date with everything grant writing and technical writing. And I'll go ahead and see you on some of our other videos where we cover those subjects in more depth. Cheers.